Taurus, your energy is kind of quiet. I was sitting here for a while trying to tap in and see if I could get a message in my meditation, and all I got was a teapot, and it was boiling, and I could hear the water boiling. And the teapot is a very home-based symbol. It is kind of Taurian, I guess, in a way. There's some magic in it too, because it reminds me of a cauldron a little bit. But it's very feminine. And I feel like there's something quiet about you. Like, it's almost like your soul is trying to nurture you and take care of you at this moment. And I feel like almost like you've shut down in a way. Now, you could be very lively, getting a lot of work done, doing things, being social, I don't know, but there's like, you've turned something off, you've shut something down, maybe some emotion, maybe some thought. You're quiet in a way. Your energy is quiet. Maybe you're conserving it, or you need to. And I got this question, but I wasn't really sure about it. But the question that came through was, what sense of duty do you have? It feels like maybe for all your life, perhaps, you've been carrying this feeling like you need to be dutiful in some sense. You have a duty to provide, or you have a duty to take care of. You have a duty to help, heal. I'm not sure what it is. And you take this very seriously. However, I feel like sometimes that duty feels like very taxing for you. And maybe it turns into resentment, or maybe you just shut down in some way. It's not a coldness I'm feeling, although others might perceive you that way. It's more of like, almost like dissociating from from something. It's like, it's too much. I'm not, And I'm a Taurus too. Many of you know that I have a Taurus stellium. So I can relate to this. But usually you're more forthcoming with what's going on with you when I tap into your energy. This time it's almost like you kind of had enough. So I decided to just stop my meditation and not pry any further, but I'm still going to get the cards out and see what wants to come through. Perhaps you're not even sure what kind of message you're looking for, or you want, or there's nothing in particular on your mind, or maybe you've shut it out, what it is that your soul is really after. But I do get that sense that your soul is trying to take care of you. Okay? Some of you could be experiencing things somatically in your body. They're messages from your higher self. And I feel like for a lot of you, it could be to slow down. It could be to stop and really look at something. So let's get in and see what's going on for you, Taurus. I'm just going to pull a card to see the overall energy, what's guiding this message. Where do we need to begin with Taurus? It's this like feeling of disappointment almost, but you're carrying the burden of it. It's this feeling of like, well, this is my weight to bear. This is my burden to bear. And I don't feel like you're really kicking your own butt or anything. It just kind of feels like very heavy and serious. And in a way, it's sort of responsible, because you're not throwing stuff onto somebody else and saying this is all your fault, or I feel meh because of you. It's kind of like a sadness within. I don't know. Let's see what Spirit says. What's going on here? Yeah, look at that. That's what I'm feeling. Lost in space and needing direction. It's this feeling of like floating, of like shutting down, of looking at the world around you, or looking at your life and being like, yeah, okay, it's going. Where do I go next? Maybe you're not inspired these days. Things are a little lackluster. Is that how it feels? Now, this message might not be for every Taurus, so if it doesn't resonate with you, then don't take it. Maybe come back to it a few months from now. It might resonate. My messages are timeless. But this is a message for someone who's feeling unsure of how they're feeling almost. Okay? So I also feel like part of this is there isn't anyone really around you who is comforting you. Okay? It feels like there's a lack of care. I'm not saying people don't care about you, but maybe they're not expressing it, or you're having to stay strong like all the time is how I feel. And that little baby bull in you needs some caretaking. Okay? So let's get in further. Let's see what's going on here. Lost in space. Needing direction. Tell me more. The Alchemist. Balance, invention, and destruction. Yeah, it's interesting. It's like you in your alchemy lab, right? Just looking at all the beakers, looking at all the mixtures, the potions, the elements, and being like, what am I alchemizing? What am I creating? Maybe you need to destroy something first. Let's see. Tell me about the energy supporting Taurus that's coming from within them, from their soul. Oh, I'm seeing feel flipped over. Okay, I'll take it. And then silence. Yeah, you're quiet. You see that? These are like my fingerprints on here for some reason, which I feel like is part of the message. Are they? I think so. Or just marks. Your fingerprint, your uniqueness, your identity. I'm hearing something like the map to your soul. Maybe you need to get back to... Well, I don't know. Okay, so you're feeling silent. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, I'm seeing behind that choice. You're at a crossroads, an earth, and we have you looking at earth here too. You're at a crossroads, and then I'm seeing connect. Well, maybe you need to connect with earth then. Have you grounded lately? Abundance, been out in nature. Is that lacking from your life? If I don't get out in nature regularly, something goes wrong, like things don't feel right. So maybe that's what you need too. I mean, you're the quintessential, don't tell the others, but you're the quintessential earth sign. Okay, you're fixed earth. Like you need to be connected to nature. Okay, so there's a choice. Your feelings are silent on it though, but that's the energy that's supporting you. It's coming from within. Okay, interesting. So the energy outside of you that is challenging you. No. The energy outside of yourself that is supporting you. Let's see the support first, Spirit. The supporting energy for Taurus. Maybe you're burnt out. I know I feel that way. Home. The teapot. Your soul trying to take care of you. I feel like you need a reprieve. You need some alone time. You need to have some fun with yourself. Okay? And forget worrying about others, and maybe allow yourself not to think about all your responsibilities for a few hours, for an evening. Okay? It's fine. Life is going to be there the next day. Allow yourself to rest and relax. Okay, let's see the energy inside of yourself that is presenting a challenge. Soul. Wow. What's going on, Taurus? Your soul is trying to help you, take care of you. But maybe you need to take care of it too. Outside energy, challenging Taurus. Express. This is what I'm saying. It's like there's the people around you, or the energy around you. It's like they're not speaking to your soul in some way, or they're not understanding how you're expressing your soul at this moment. Or you don't have an outlet. Like you feel like there's nobody or nowhere that is soul fulfilling at the moment. Okay? Now, others might be expecting you to or encouraging you to express your soul. But I feel like there's this feeling you have like, I don't know if they're listening though. And there's nothing worse for a Taurus than putting in a ton of work and people don't care or appreciate, I should say. Okay? And so maybe that's what you're feeling. But the alchemy card is here. You are an alchemist, so there is something for you to do. There is something for you to create. I'm seeing an acorn on this card. That might be significant. So let's get in and see what Spirit says. Let me get one more card for the challenge. Body, I'm seeing. And abundance fell out, but I saw body first and struggle. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Something might be going on physically for you in your body. There's a struggle to align mind, the head here, mind, body, and soul. And that's how you bring in the abundance. So perhaps you need to think about that. Where am I out of alignment when it comes to that mind, body, soul connection? And rather than being hard on yourself about being out of alignment, just bring yourself back into it. There's no need to self-punish here. I'm hearing the word condemn or condemn yourself in some way. Okay? Is there somewhere in you that feels like you're not being courageous enough? Because I did say it's possible you need to destroy something, and perhaps there's a part of you that feels like, well, I know I need to destroy that, but I don't have the energy, I don't have the courage. I'm scared of leaving this behind, or I'm scared of what might happen. That could be affecting you, deep struggle. That could be deeper than you think, and in its effects on you and the flow of your energy. Okay, so let's see. And maybe you don't need to destroy it. Maybe you just need to think about it, but you're avoiding that. You're shutting down that thought process. So let's go in further and see what's going on for you, Taurus. Now, I did get this message for you a few weeks ago, but the reading didn't actually want to come out. It wasn't time yet. And in this message, what I got was your intuition knows something is at the door, even if you can't see it. So it felt like there was an energy from the outside trying to come in or asking you to cross a threshold. Yeah, it was very interesting with this home. I'll tell you a little bit about it because I feel the message coming through here again. It was almost like you were at a party with a bunch of shadowy kind of characters, maybe your inner demons. Okay, you're at this party with them, you know all of them, and they're actually quite boring. You're not interested in the party. You're just kind of sitting there like, yeah, I'm finding myself here again. I just have to tolerate it. It's part of the whole process. It's like a boredom, but safety, because you know this party, maybe it's happening in your home. Perhaps you're hosting a lot lately. But the characters are kind of not soul inspiring, okay? And then there's something outside of your door, outside of your window even, I'm hearing, that is trying to capture your attention and wants you to cross that threshold into something new and unknown and different, okay? And see this home card, it's like very crowded here. So yes, your home is supporting you in terms of like you need to nurture yourself and take care of yourself and protect your space and your energy. But there's also an awareness that's coming up for you that something is feeling a little suffocating almost, a little crowded, a little cramped. You don't have room to grow and stretch and move around here, even though it's familiar and maybe feels safe. So this energy that you're sensing that is at your door, I feel like it's asking you to cross a threshold. Okay? So I don't know what that's about for everyone, but maybe you need to take a chance here with something. Okay, let's see. It's almost like you're saying, well, I don't want to go out there and follow that little wren. I'm seeing a wren, a bird. I don't want to go out there and follow that bird because I don't know where they're taking me. I don't know what's out there. I'm going to get lost. I don't have a direction. Why would I leave my house and this silly party I'm at just to go wander around outside in the cold, in the dark, and following this little bird? Like, that seems silly. But perhaps it's not until you cross that threshold that you get the direction you're seeking. Because right now you're at this party and you're feeling nothing. You know? It's silent. Okay? So let's see. Taurus. 3 more. What does Taurus need to hear for their highest good and the highest good of all? Let's see. There's your card, of course, coming out as your energy. Oh, very interesting. Yeah, look at you. 4 of Cups. That's the vibe. I'm at the party. Like, I'm literally seeing you sitting like this. Everybody around you's chattering away. People could be arguing. There could be conflict around you, or you're just like witnessing people's thought forms and how they're getting along and going along, and you're like, ugh. 4 of Swords. Yeah, it's kind of like you're escaping into your own home, into your own energy, just to not have to pretend to be interested in something else. 6 of Wands. Yeah, it's like maybe somebody around you wants applause, or your inner demons want to be applauded, or there's somebody around you who's just, I don't know, I'm getting the sense of like lots of people wanting to be validated or noticed or recognized, or I don't know, wanting you to join in on the fun. Hermit and the Sun, but you're not interested, okay? I think I've belabored that point, Spirit. Okay. The Wise One for your overall energy, which is the Hierophant, your card. So you're showing up in your highest polarity, okay? And you're showing up as your higher self. And it looks to me in this image, I'll show you in a second, but it looks like how do I say that? Well, maybe you can put words to this image, but I'm seeing you as all 3 of these people. It looks like you've come somewhere, or you're going somewhere, or you're doing something to try to address a conflict within yourself. The silencing of the feelings. It's like it's gotten you to this place where now you're sitting around this fire asking your higher self, how do I get my spark back? You know, I'm sitting at the fire, but I still feel cold. Like, I don't really know. Do I need to make this fire bigger? Should I go somewhere else? But it's almost like this silence that is creeping into your feeling space has led you to a place of inquiry. Does that make sense? Because I can't deny that this is in the supporting position. Maybe it's solace. You're seeking solace. Soulless. Interesting. Let me clarify, okay? Now, the Hierophant is a teacher, and the Hierophant gives divine wisdom, but that wisdom often is confrontational. It changes people's thinkings and minds about things. And maybe this is what you feel your duty is, right? Your duty is to always care for those who are out in the cold or need to get warm by the fire, so you're the home. But now you need to give that to yourself too, in a sense. Okay, what's going on here? There's something I can't get to. What's going on in Taurus's energy? Queen of Pentacles. Well, again, you're just so straight-faced here. Very like stoic, but it doesn't feel good. It feels weird. It doesn't feel bad either. Do you know, is this resonating? What is this feeling? What is the feeling? Ace of Pentacles, Empress, and the Sun. Contentment? Possibility? Potential? So why are we having why does it feel like there's a shadow aspect here? What's the shadow aspect? I don't understand, Spirit. Queen of Swords. Well, you're bored, Taurus. You're bored. I have to say it, okay? Or maybe it's not boredom. Think of another word. You're, I don't know, stagnant. You're feeling like you're going to shut down is all I feel. Okay. Now, again, it doesn't mean you're not doing incredible things and you're succeeding and all of that stuff, but there's something that's shut down in you. And it's almost like you're telling yourself, yeah, well, I should be, it should be fine. I'm Empress, the Sun, and the Ace of Pentacles. I can make anything happen under the sun that I want to. I'm successful. I'm abundant. Like, I'm fine. I'm fine at this party. It's cool. But the shadow is the Queen of the Swords saying like, yeah, but like, what are we talking about here? What's going on? There's nothing mentally challenging me, intellectually challenging me. There's a lack of maybe truth being spoken. Or we're not getting anywhere and we're not going anywhere here. So tell me more about what's going on, Taurus's grievances here. Four of Wands, that's the home. Queen of Swords. Well, perhaps there's a relationship in your life that's beginning to look different than it used to. You're seeing some truth about a relationship or a connection or some sense of stability in your life. And what about it? The World and the King of Cups. I'm getting, yeah, there's this sensation here where it's like, well, if I want this, I'm going to have to take on everything. Like, I'm going to have to take on all the responsibility. I'm the one who has the mastery. And maybe you're feeling like somebody isn't stepping up to the plate emotionally, so you're shutting down. You're not going to discuss your feelings anymore because somebody else, King of Cups, is being pretty quiet about what they're feeling. It's a very strange feeling, Taurus, because there's a lot of potential here and you have it and you know it and you're abundant in so many ways and you got a lot of potential to create things and you know that. But it's this sensation of, yeah, but like now there's this thing and it's kind of disappointing and now I feel like I don't know where I'm going. Okay, so let's see. Queen of Cups for what you don't see coming. Well, this is emotions and feeling. So let's see, what about this? Maybe you're going to suddenly feel something very important that will give you some information on what's going on here. So what's this? The Devil. The Devil and the Six of Pentacles. See, you're giving, like, or somebody's trying to take. You know, there's this sensation in you, but it's my duty to take care of this person, of these people, of my family, of whoever it is, of their emotions, even with the King of Cups. Because I have everything, you know, I have everything to give. So why wouldn't I? I'm just going to keep giving and giving. But you're doing it at the expense of your soul, in a way. It's a beautiful thing to give, but there's other ways to express your soul. Okay, and I feel like that's what's going on. This little bird at the door, at the window saying, come on out here, is trying to show you there's a different way to still fulfill the so-called duty you feel, or to be who you are naturally, and not have to give too much of yourself. Because I see you just giving and get, like, honestly, that's what I'm seeing here with the Devil and the Six of Pentacles. Here you are, right? The Queen of Pentacles. Some people come up, hey, Taurus, can I have this? You're like, sure. Okay. Yeah. I have something to give you, so sure. Yeah, I'll just keep giving. I need something more, like, I need a strong, well, let's go to these cards. I need a strong pushback from you, Taurus. I want to know what are you shutting down? Like, what are you not allowing yourself to feel about this? Okay, and we'll take some of these cards too. Spirit says just take them all. Okay, well, I can't hold them all. Okay, what are you, look at this. There's a lot you're feeling that you're shutting down, see? Okay, Taurus. Just a few if please, Spirit. Okay, what is it that Taurus is shutting down? Autopilot, I'm telling you. Okay. Let's see. We have stop. Stop being on autopilot. Deal breaker. Something's a deal breaker. Betrayal. There's been a betrayal. It's a deal breaker. Chained. Yes. Okay. We're getting somewhere. Psychic. Let's see what else. Dead and gone. And then we have Cancer. The astrological sign. I think, and maybe it's more literal for some of you, there's been a fight with this, okay? It doesn't have to be. But this Cancerian energy is that caregiving, home, taking care of the teapot, okay? So there is something here where it's like no matter how much you give, it's not growing. And at some point, there's got to be a deal breaker for you, Taurus. And I know you have good boundaries and all that stuff, but there's something here that you're allowing to continue or you're chained to in some way. And I feel like you're starting to almost betray yourself, okay, with the Devil card. And you got to say, this is a deal breaker. I got to stop this. Like, I'm finding myself shutting down and going on autopilot. That's not who I am. The Six of Pentacles. Okay, I'll do a couple more and then we'll get into the rest of the cards. Anything else we need to hear? 1 year. Someone else. Watch your Saturn sign. Okay, I feel like there's one more thing that wants to come out. How have things changed from 1 year ago? What has happened? Were you someone else a year ago? Or was there someone else? Change could actually be happening in 1 year from now. Okay, I can't. Okay, that's enough? Thank you. Let's not do that one again. That was very hard. Oh, okay, there. We have worried, playing it cool, silent. Taurus, what's going on? You're waiting something out. You're waiting to see what's going to happen. You're playing it cool. You're being silent, but you're worried underneath. Unsettled, but you're shutting that out pretty good. You're doing a good job with that. Another layer. For a reason. Disturbance. Mine. Someone new. We have someone else and someone new. Double life. Possessive. Been here all along. Okay. So, I feel like this is very specific, okay? But it feels like you're unsatisfied with something in your life at a deep level. And you're worried that this dissatisfaction is going to keep going. Now, this could be in a relationship, it could be in a job, it could be the way you're managing your own life, it could be friendships, it could be just your own sense of self. But on the surface, you're playing it cool because you know you're this too, right? Like, so how could you be dissatisfied when you're the Empress, the Sun, and the Ace of Pentacles, and you have all this energy to work with? Maybe you should show some more gratitude, etc., etc. But Spirit's saying your soul is trying to take care of you by telling you to stop being on autopilot with these feelings, with these emotions, and look at it. Because you being on autopilot and shutting down is just continuing to give under the devil's rule as well. It's like, don't complain, be obedient, just do the thing over and over again. It's almost like it, yeah. I don't want to say that. Okay, so you're unsettled, you're worried. You should watch your Saturn sign if you know what that is, because Saturn is a planet of restriction and tough lessons and karma. So I feel like you are restricting yourself in some way, okay? And sometimes that's a good thing, but sometimes it's a shadow force, that restriction. We're harming ourselves by restricting ourselves. Okay, and this desire that you have for something that isn't being fulfilled, it's been with you all along. Now, I don't know what this possessive mind and all this disturbance is. Maybe there's somebody around you who is very attached to you, okay? And you feel chained, or you're not doing anything about this, or you're not saying anything about this. I'm going to leave that one there because that's getting real specific. So let's go on. Ace of Swords for your opportunity. Good. I like this because your Queen of Swords, your internal Queen of Swords, no matter what your gender is saying, I got a problem. And so the opportunity is to cut through the silence, your own inner silence, to cut through any kind of fog, to cut through the worry and the concern and get to the truth. Look at the truth of how you feel, or maybe say something you need to say. So let's see. And I'm seeing these birds in a birdhouse. Maybe you get this Ace of Swords, the truth, once you leave that stale, cheesy, boring party with your inner demon that you're chilling at with your inner demons. Or maybe these people that I'm seeing at this party are other people, and their inner demons, and you're just like, ugh. You need to go outside to learn something new with the Ace of Swords, to get the truth, to get more direction. It's like when you go outside, you look through the window and you see this party, and you can really see it for what it is. I'm hearing debauchery. I don't know. Maybe there's something going on where people are just being selfish. Ace of Swords, awakening. Exactly. Ace of Swords and awakening for your opportunity. This is big. Okay? The power of your mind is big. I was going to say it's everything. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But perspective is huge when it comes to the way that your life unfolds. Okay? And Spirit is saying you're going to have a realization and an epiphany about the truth of something that you've just been going along with, or saying that I should do this. You're going to wake up to something here. Can we get a little more info on what that something is? Well, I think we know. It's this feeling of I'm not happy being betrayed and overworked or extended in my energy. Knight of Cups, overgiving. Maybe someone's been playing a song to you, dangling a carrot or making a promise or trying to quiet you in some sense. What about this Knight of Cups that Taurus is going to see? King of Wands. Well, Taurus, is there somebody, if you were to, how do I say? Who around you in your life gets a little hot and bothered and antsy when the autopilot in you gets flipped off and you start flying the plane? Who around you, when you say no to things, when you put your foot down, Six of Swords, when you detach mentally from something or someone, who gets like up in arms about it? Okay, I think you need to look at that relationship star. Because there's a truth in there that you need to see, and it will help give you direction. Okay, Three of Pentacles for the challenge. Well, duh, this makes complete sense. This is also like the Six of Pentacles, you know? You're just working for others, with others, emotionally, energetically, actually. It's a tug of war, though. You know, your energy's being tugged on. Maybe you need some help. Taurus, getting help? Maybe you do. You need some outside expertise, another viewpoint. Tell me more about this. Other people to help you, like give alongside you, you know, so that you're not the only one. Let's see. Page of Pentacles. What would happen if you stopped being the responsible one, if you stopped being the wise one, and you turned into the one needing help? You were the one who needed to learn something or gain something. Are you even allowed to do that? Or are you automatically cast into a certain role of caretaker? So the challenge is, there's something to learn. But there's the energy to learn that is not here right now. So what is there to learn? Abundance. Okay, something about how you manage your abundance. And humility. You know how we always say, like, to put ourselves in an abundant mindset and to go into the abundance matrix and leave the lack mentality behind and know that we have so much to give and we have everything we want and need is ours and can be ours, etc., etc. Well, at some point, does that thought form, I'm just playing it out here, does it get toxic at some point? If we're in the abundance matrix and anything is possible and we can create abundance all the time, then perhaps there's also some kind of implication in that thinking that we should feel ashamed when we don't share that abundance, or when we reject that, Well, some of you need to realize that somebody else does not have access to that matrix. Okay, somebody is not abundant. And no matter how much you can create abundance for yourself, it doesn't necessarily mean they can too. The alchemist, they might not be at that place energetically to do that. And you're trying to facilitate that happening. Humility about your abundance. You know, Taurus, you only have so much energy in a day. Okay? And I feel like some people are okay accepting that. Like, oh, I don't have energy for this. I'm not giving away my time like that. But for you, it's like you need humility to admit that. I can't do it all. That's not a reflection on you that's negative. So this takes me to your advice, which is Six of Cups. And this is where it gets a little bit deeper, where we're talking about nostalgia, the past, the childhood, and how these thoughts of giving in the devil's energy, you know, like massive output of your energy, where that first got started, where did that get rooted for you? That goal, that ambition, that feeling of duty to provide whatever it is you're providing. Okay. And I feel like in order to give this much, you'd have to go on autopilot, right? Like, so you need, and why aren't you scaling back? Why aren't you saying no? Why aren't you telling someone to do something for themselves? You know, like, what's the fear? I feel like those questions need to be answered, and they go back to childhood, as most of our shadows and fears do. Okay, let's see. Judgment, awakening again. What do I say though, Spirit? There's a pattern of behavior that was installed into you, okay? Was conditioned into you, the Chariot. It's like constant forward momentum, constant caretaking, constant doing at all costs to keep this abundant energy going, which you have naturally, like, you know? No matter if you're lost and you have no direction, just keep going. You know, that kind of feeling has been installed into you, conditioned into you at a young age for some reason. Maybe you weren't allowed to stop, put your foot down and say, I need something here, or I need a break, or I can't do this, or I'm not responsible for this. Perhaps as a child, you were always put in an emotional caretaker role or a financial caretaker role, even as a little bit of an older child, you know, like, I'm not sure what it is for everyone, but there's this sense in you that you're going to betray someone or yourself if you just stop. Giving. If you just stop giving. Strength. If you stop giving your strength, you're giving your strength away. Which, again, can be such a noble thing to do when you're teaching that or you're sharing that. But whatever's going on now and this reading is touching on, you gone too far, okay? A little bit too far here. Things need to stay in balance. I'm being reminded of a dream I had last night. I don't know why I feel like sharing this. Maybe it's a sign for someone. I had a dream that I was like playing on the floor with a golden retriever and we were kind of rolling around together and having a great time. I don't know. I don't know why I feel like saying that when I see the lion. Dogs are loyal companions, and usually the animal will represent an aspect of yourself in a dream. So maybe you need to have more loyalty to yourself than someone else at this moment in time. Well, always, but, really drive it home this moment in time. Okay, because you're going forward, feeling a little bit directionless, but the forward momentum that you have right now is being fueled also not only by your abundance and your hard work and all the good things that you've done. I mean, that's why you're moving forward too. I mean, it's a good thing, but there's also an aspect in there that you need to recognize or realize that's being fueled from the past and some sense of responsibility. Okay. Don't go on autopilot. Stop. That's the clearest message here. The Lovers for the outcome. I'm also going to do an extended reading. In the extended, we're going to go a layer deeper, see what else comes through. If you're interested in that, the link is in the description box below. If you can't go to that or you don't want to, you don't like that idea, trust that Spirit gave you all the info you needed right here. Okay, I like this card. Where was it that I saw? Where is it? Did I put it back in? I guess I put it back in. There was a card that came out. I think maybe it was the six. I don't know what it was now, but the trees were all, the Four of Cups. The trees were all snarled in the background and they looked like they weren't really speaking to one another. It looked like they were in conflict in the Four of Cups. And then here they're intertwined. They're sharing a root system. There's reciprocity, equal give and take. And I feel like this is the outcome that you are moving towards should you acknowledge the ways in which you overgive. When you pull back, You allow someone to step forward, and you need to create that space for that energy to come in. Okay? And this could be in any which way. It could even be with yourself. And I love this because this is a connection. It's a balanced connection, and it's one in which important decisions will be made. This could be a connection with anyone or anything, but there needs to be a stepping back in order for it to come forward. Okay? So let's get a little bit more clarification on the Lovers, and then we'll go to the extended. Tell me more about the Lovers. 10 of Swords and the 10 of Cups. Step back to step forward. Before it's too late. Okay? Overextending is not the answer here. And I feel like it's coming from a good place. Like that's your intention. It really is. Okay? And it's coming from this place of I can do this though. I can do it. But just because you can do it doesn't mean you should. Okay? Because it's like you're asking this angel here, how do I help everybody here? How do I get everybody to be happy and on board and step into the abundance matrix and all be merry and have a happy ending and all that stuff? How do I ask? Or how do I ask? Interesting. How do I get that? Maybe there's something you need to ask that you haven't been able to of someone. Okay? How do I do that? And then the angels is showing you, like, look, they're like, something needs to be destroyed. Something needs to come to an end. There's been a betrayal. It's been painful. It's been exhausting. And that needs to be acknowledged. That's how you move things forward, is by acknowledging your limitations. You don't want to get to the 10 of Swords. You've been there before. You need to acknowledge that you're there, or you've been there, or you're on the brink of it. Acknowledge that. And then also acknowledge that you don't want to keep going down that route and make it 20 swords. Super big judgment that would be, you know? But I think mainly what's resonating most with the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Swords and the Lovers is step back so that the energy can step forward into your space. Okay. All right, Taurus, that's what I have for you. I love you so much. I'll see you next time.